So you thought it would be a good idea to run some Facebook ads for your landscaping business. And initially you were excited when you saw leads come in, but very quickly you were both shocked and appalled at how eviscerated you were being by the lead quality that was coming in. Maybe you were getting on the phone with people who have no idea of what you're selling or what your services are. Maybe you can't even get on the phone with people because all you're getting is spam. And now you kind of feel like Facebook ads don't work and you're questioning, how are so many people getting success with Facebook ads when your lead quality is just absolute garbage? If so, watch this video until the end because we are going to fix your lead quality issues forever. What's going on, you guys? This is Matt Thibeau here with Savant Marketing Agency. And in this video, we're going to be talking all about how to fix bad lead quality on Facebook ads using 3 advanced systems that we're using in our agency, Savant Marketing, today. For those of you who are watching who are maybe a little bit more new to Facebook ads, something I want to tell you right off the bat that is going to make a big difference in your lead quality is going to be not using messaging ads on Facebook. So if you are using messaging ads, switch over to lead forms where people can fill out a form. That is definitely going to help a lot with the quality. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume you're already doing that and you're still having lead quality issues. So the first strategy that you can do to really start increasing the quality of your leads is by setting the Facebook settings to high intent instead of volume on your lead forms. So you are going to see a setting when you're setting up your ads in lead forms where you can choose between high intent or volume. I'm going to explain the difference between the two of them. Let's talk about volume first. Volume is going for exactly that. It's going for as many leads as possible for the lowest cost per lead on lead forms. And you may or may not attract people who are accidentally filling out the form because a lot of times it will auto-populate their name and their phone number and such details. And so this is a great way to get a lot of leads, but sometimes it can tend to also deliver low quality leads. So what I would recommend, if you haven't already, if you are struggling with lead quality, is to increase the intent behind your lead form. So turn on high intent. It's a setting in Facebook ads. And essentially what this will do is it will implement several different strategies essentially to make it harder for those people to enter in their information. So for example, once they fill out all their information, which they have to do manually, it won't be something that's automatically populated. Then at the end, when they submit it, it will say review all of your details and click accept. So it's adding like another barrier for them, as well as it's also going to include something called 2-factor authentication. So basically their phone number that they input there to be contacted, it will actually text them a code and they have to verify that that phone number is real. So just doing that is going to be adding up some barriers. It's definitely going to make it harder for people to contact you. So typically your lead cost will go up when you do this, but it doesn't matter if it is increasing the quality of the leads for you, right? So when in doubt, if you're struggling with lead quality, the very first thing that you could do is start optimizing for high intent instead of volume. And this is most likely going to fix your lead quality issues. For us personally at Savant Marketing Agency, whenever we start off with the client, we do recommend to just start with volume first because most of our clients don't struggle with lead quality issues in the beginning. But if they ever did, then that would be something that we would move towards. So that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be something called conditional logic. Now, essentially what conditional logic is you can add questions in the form for someone to answer. And essentially, these are qualifying questions that are going to basically determine if they can actually request a quote or not. So for example, let's say that you have a minimum amount that you're willing to do work for, right? So in your form, you could add a question like something like a budget question, which would be the minimum we charge for a project is $3,000. Are you able to afford this? Or something like that. Maybe a bad example, but you get the gist of it. And so the person, when they're filling out that form, they can answer that question yes or no. And let's say, for example, that you have a hard cutoff after that amount in projects, right? So let's say they can't afford the minimum 3,000 or 5,000 or whatever it is. The form will actually close. So they can't even request a quote from you if they don't answer that question the way that you would want to, right? So if they fail the qualifying questions, they cannot even ask for a quote from you. This is going to do two things. It's going to save you a lot of time from calling leads who are not qualified. However, it's also going to do something called pixel conditioning. So it is actually going to train Facebook's algorithm to go out and find people who are actually going to answer the questions how you want them to and be qualified, right? So every time that someone fills that out and then it says no and it closes the form, Facebook doesn't like that. It wants to show the ad to people who are going to actually fill out those questions correctly. So you are actually training Facebook's AI to be able to show the ad to people who are more likely to fill out all those questions and agree to all of them. So what you're going to find is that using conditional logic is a very powerful way to train Meta's pixel so that it will start showing ads to more qualified prospects over time. So that's called pixel conditioning. Very important and a very simple way to start qualifying leads upfront. Again, it might increase your cost per lead. However, it is definitely going to increase the quality of the leads because you're putting up barriers. You're asking more qualifying questions. You can also qualify on timeline. So like, when are you looking to get this done? Essentially, what I would do is if you're struggling with lead quality, whatever is the issue with the quality of the lead, then I would add that as a qualifying question. So if it's budget or timeline, or maybe like, are you even looking for these services? You could add that in for a question, you know? So this is what I would recommend as a second thing to do as well. Conditional logic is going to be very effective. Now, I have a third thing to recommend here, and this is kind of building on the strategy of conditional logic. So the third strategy that I would recommend is something called Conversion API. Now, essentially what Conversion API is going to do is allow your CRM to actually talk and communicate data back and forth to Meta's algorithm. The reason that this is so amazing and so powerful is that imagine if your CRM is tracking all of the sales that are coming from your Facebook ads, then Facebook will be able to see that these types of leads lead to a sale, and then other types of leads lead to being ghosted or not a sale, right? And so essentially what you could do with Conversion API is basically connect Meta and your CRM so that every time that you drag a lead into closed, like a sale from your Facebook ads, it will signal back to Facebook as a conversion event and be like, hey, that lead led to a sale. And what this is going to do is not only give data on the front end of submitted the lead like we were doing in conditional logic, but now you're also feeding data to Meta on the back end of what leads actually led to closed revenue. This is a new feature that we've rolled out for our clients. This is why we give all of our clients Go High Level included with our program as well, because now if they are using Go High Level and dragging their leads into different levels in the pipeline, then that will be able to communicate back to Facebook and say like, hey, more of these leads. You know, these are the ones that are closing and these are the ones that are not closing. So we want these and we don't want those. So very powerful strategy. And over time, this is going to increase the quality of the leads that are coming through because essentially you're giving Meta more and more data about who your ideal customers are, who's qualified and who's not, and who's actually turning into a closed sale. So these are the three strategies that we are using going into 2026 on Facebook lead forms to dramatically increase the quality of the leads that our clients are getting. I would highly recommend that you use this if you're struggling with lead quality. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe. And if you have any questions about this stuff, comment below. I'm happy to answer. And if you're watching this right now and this stuff seems a little bit too techy for you and rather just hire an expert marketing team to come in and just handle it all for you, my link is in the description below. You can book a call with our team. We'd be happy to help you out. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next video.